Hi there, welcome to our first assignment here in English 10. This is getting our summer reading back into MLA format, okay? So thank you for joining me. I'm Miss Weiss. A couple things we're going to do in this video. This video is to explain to you how to put your document into MLA format, okay? So if you already know how that looks like, or maybe you just want an example to look at, okay, then go ahead and go back to the agenda and just look at the example. Otherwise, in this video, I'm going to explain, what is MLA, when will we use this, and what will this look like, okay? So MLA is a format, and it stands for the Modern Language Association, all right? So it's a format. Basically, think of it as a way we organize our work. What we do with MLA and why we use MLA, basically, it helps organize your paper. So if you're bringing in outside sources, outside information, if you're quoting an article, bringing in a text, it's helping you organize how you're going to present that, okay? Why? So then it helps curious readers to retrace, where you got this information. Basically, it makes you credible, okay? It backs up the things you're saying in your article and your paper. It makes you credible. You're backing up what you're saying. It gives credit to those who've worked hard on research, worked hard on books, and lastly, we're avoiding the big P, okay? We're avoiding plagiarism. Do we have to use this all year? We get to use this all year, okay? Now, there are certain parts of MLA format that are going to follow all of our work, all of our writing. And then there's certain parts of MLA that we're not going to touch on today, but we will use later in more formal papers, okay? So, I'm always going to be really good about reminding you, hey, this paragraph needs to be in MLA format. Hey, you need to have an MLA format header. I'll always remind you, but it will become second nature for you as well. Okay, so what does it look like? Well, let's head down here and I'm going to go through it with you. Okay, so I'm going to right now literally create the example you can look at. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through it. I'll walk you through MLA, but this is basically going to add up to be the same example on the agenda, okay? So MLA formatting, the first thing you're going to do is everyone needs to have a header. The header is going to be your last name, okay? So you've got your header, then you're going to come down here and actually work on the header on your paper. So I'm going to put in my name, all right? I need to make sure this is at the top. Perfect, okay. So the first line is going to be your name. Put your name in. Okay, the next line is your teacher or professor. All right, the next line is the actual class. So this class is English 10 or World Literature. I'll probably go back and forth talking about it in both ways, World Lit, English 10. But you can just put English 10 on your header. Lastly, and something that is the easiest kind of to maybe make a few mistakes on is the date, okay? The date goes day, month, and year as the last thing. You need to make sure you do not have any commas, okay? Because if you have one comma in here, guess what? It's not MLA format. So no commas. This is exactly the header you're going to have all year on your work. You're always going to follow this format. You notice this is double space. This has your last name over here. That is the holy grail, okay? Follow this to a T. You're going to have this on almost every single paper, and in most classes, you're going to be using MLA. So the earlier you memorize this, the better off you are. The next thing that is essential that you'll do all year is you will always have a title, okay? You need to have a title on your work. Even if it's something silly, title it, okay? Always title your work. So for this one, you can call it summer reading quotes. You can call it whatever you want as long as it pertains to what the assignment is. This is what I'm going to call it though, okay? So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put in my actual summer reading quotes. You might want one more space. Okay, actual quotes. So two things here. Maybe you typed out your summer reading quotes. In that situation, you can just paste them here. Maybe you wrote out your quotes. In that situation, type them in. So I read the book this summer called Tuesdays with Maury. Great book, made me cry a lot. But I picked out my quotes from it. So right now I'm going to type in my quotes. You might be able to hear my keyboard. Okay, so here's my quote. Here's my first quote. Everyone knows they're going to die, but nobody believes it. I have my quotation mark here, my quotation mark there, and you will notice I do not have my period yet, okay? I do not have a period yet. So I'm going to insert a parenthesis, and then I'm going to enter the author's last name, okay? Mitch Albom. I'm putting in only his last name. The next thing I need is my page number, okay? So page number, parenthesis, and then you can put a period. This is it. All right, this is MLA formatting. When you are entering quotes this year into your paper, this is typically how it's going to look. This is it. If it doesn't look like this, it's not MLA. All right, so there's our first quote. I'm going to go through our second one now, okay? And you'll notice one is a little different. So the second quote, death ends a life, not a relationship. As you noticed, I did not put the author's last name. Okay, everything else is the same. Quotation marks, parenthesis, page number, period. Everything else is the same. The reason why I don't have to put that last name is because I referenced the last name already, and now I'm providing another quote from the same author. Okay, if it's from the same author, if the next quote you share is from the same author, you do not have to put their last name. All right. So now I can go on to 3, 4, and 5. My next three quotes are going to look just like this one. I'm going to have the quote, I'm going to put the parenthesis, page number, parenthesis, and period. If you'd like to see the rest of this example, head on back over to the agenda, look at the example, but this is it. This is your summer reading. Go ahead and submit this to the Google Classroom Dropbox when you're finished. Thank you so much, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Don't hesitate.